She's on mine. 511. Or no, hold on, 511. Congratulated by her aunt, Private Barber, Lady Walker, U.S. Army
He's got a different last name. Who do you want me to? Who do you want me to? Is he going to come down? Excuse me, I got to give you somebody's name. I talked to the lieutenant. Stepdad's going to present with me. Apparently, there's no seating available down here for him. So, he just wanted me to give you the name so when he comes down to that, you know what I mean? My name is Marshall.
Who are you presenting for?
Rylan Marshall.
Okay. Let's see if I can... I know it's in here because I remember seeing that name. This one here?
Yes, sir. Right, that's him. And
so,
Gunnery Sergeant Keith Marshall, that's me,
okay.
Marine Corps retired, and then Master Sergeant Greg Harlan,
I'm gonna write this
Marine Corps retired.
I'll just come down from the ship. You said I had
Somebody's sitting in my seat.
So I'll just, I don't know how I'll see how it goes then.
Father.
Yes.
Gunnery sergeant.
And then stepfather.
Okay.
Master
Sergeant?
Yes. Greg Harlan. Harlan. Also retired.
Marine Corps retired.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Got it.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Not enjoying how it goes. Hey, we're gonna do a hand salute. I just overheard the captain talking to Captain Mouse. Hey, when you come in, you're gonna say hand salute and hold the salute. So just call salute. Hand salute, ready to, hand salute, ready to.
Got it. We're doing hand salutes for Captain and Captain because I heard the Captain telling them we were. So.
Nobody knows where it belongs.
That's your last
For next time. Yeah, she is. She is. Yeah.
Alright, let's grab our covers.
Where's my
Piece. Don't have it. In there. There you go. And I will flip it open so it's there for you. Okay.
Welcome to Coast Guard Training Center, Cape May. My name is Lieutenant Commander Matthews, and I'll be your Master of Ceremonies for today's recruit graduation. Training Center Cape May was originally named Coast Guard Receiving Center Cape May when it opened on May 31st, 1948. In 1982, Training Center Cape May became the service's only recruit training center. Nestled between the Atlantic Ocean and Cape May Harbor, Training Center Cape May once belonged to the U.S. Marines and the U.S. Navy, and was an instrumental training area for troops during World War I and World War II. In the late 1960s, 3 500-person recruit barracks were constructed and named after Coast Guard heroes. Signalman First Class Douglas Monroe, the Coast Guard's only Medal of Honor recipient. Captain Joshua James of the U.S. Life-Saving Service, one of the most celebrated lifesavers in the world. And Captain Michael Healy of the U.S. Revenue Cutter Service, a legend along Alaska's 20,000-mile coastline. In 1974, the first group of women enlisted as regulars and reported to Cape May, and mixed-gender recruit training began. In the 90s, the Training Center's recruit processing building was dedicated to Petty Officer First Class Charles W. Sexton, a shipmate who sacrificed his life while attempting to save the lives of 4 people aboard a sinking fishing vessel. Today, the Training Center staff graduates approximately 3,500 new Coast Guardsmen each year and is committed to developing America's newest enlisted men and women in a manner that secures the trust and confidence of our service and families who trust us with the care of their loved ones. Our men and women also provide the highest level of support to our 12 tenant commands that include operational and support units. We're guided by the principles of service to nation, duty to people, and commitment to excellence. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to the graduation ceremony for Recruit Company Romeo 1903. Please rise for the arrival of the official party. The official party consists of Master Chief Hollingsworth, Command Master Chief. Commander Muse, Executive Officer. Captain Melstrip, Company Mentor.
Hey, salute. Ready, 2.
Captain Gibbons, Commanding Officer, Training Center Cape May.
Hey, salute. Ready, 2.
Thank you. Please be seated. The drill team and color guard consist of recruits selected by the ceremonial drill master who perform at a high level and can learn the complicated movements in addition to basic training. The drill team carries demilitarized 1903 rifles and executes all movements without verbal command. So please hold your applause until the end of the routine. The drill team and color guard are trained and supervised by Seaman Laugan. Ladies and gentlemen, the Recruit Precision Drill Team. Each Coast Guardsman understands the importance of our organization and has recited our Coast Guard ethos on a daily basis. The Coast Guard ethos was derived from the Coast Guard's capstone doctrine, Pub 1, and commits our newest members to the Coast Guard's character, culture, and core values of honor, respect, and devotion to duty. The Coast Guard ethos provides the framework to develop a morally, mentally, and physically fit, more capable apprentice, ready to meet the mission execution requirements of an ever-changing Coast Guard. Sound off. We are pleased that parents, relatives, and friends of the Coast Guard have joined us for this ceremony. The lead company commander for Romeo 193 is Chief Petty Officer Brigioni. The assistant company commanders are Petty Officer Allen and Petty Officer Botts. Please stand for the presentation of colors and the playing of our national anthem. Uniformed personnel should render the military salute. Members and veterans of the armed forces not in uniform may also render the military salute. All others present should face the flag at attention, remove your hat, and place your right hand over your heart. We welcome you to remain standing for the invocation. Present the colors.
Present arms.
Hoist the colors.
Color guard, freeze set, arms. Color guard, order, arms. Color guard, outboard, march.
The invocation will be delivered by Father Brown.
This prayer was written by the company's support personnel to the Command Religious Program. Let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you for bringing us with our loved ones to this momentous day for the recruits of Romeo 1903. During these past weeks, you transformed us not only into shipmates, but into brothers and sisters in service to you and the people of our great nation. We thank you, too, for our company commanders who grew us into the newest members of the next generation of fleet-ready Coast Guardsmen. Bless us and our loved ones as we depart from Cape May and embark on our journeys out into the fleet. Grant us safe travels from this day forward. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. In the course of training, the progress of each recruit has been closely watched. Each one has been called upon to perform the skills required for Coast Guard service. Each one has been trained and tested in seamanship, marksmanship, damage control, first aid, military drill, military customs, and Coast Guard history. They have developed self-confidence and self-discipline and are ready to serve their country and humanity as members of the United States Coast Guard. We will now recognize the individual award winners. The award winners will be congratulated by Captain Gibbons, Commanding Officer of Training Center Cape May. He's accompanied by Master Chief Hollinsworth, Command Master Chief, Captain Moustrip, Company Mentor, Senior Manfrey of the Chief Petty Officers Association, Mr. John Subert of the Coast Guard Combat Veterans Association, Mr. George Vaughn of the Coast Guard Auxiliary, Petty Officer Prusen of the Coast Guard Enlisted Association, and Mr. Dave Hugel of the United States Marine Corps League Dramas Detachment. Sponsored by the City of Cape May, the Most Improved Physical Fitness Award was presented to the recruit who has shown the most improvement in all areas of physical fitness. The Most Improved Physical Fitness Award winner for Romeo 103 is Senior Recruit Dustin Kearney. The recruit who showed the highest level of physical fitness during training received a certificate and wristwatch given in memory of Jack Campbell, former president of the Coast Guard Combat Veterans Association and gunner's mate during D-Day. The John W. Campbell Physical Fitness Award winner for Romeo 103 is Senior Recruit Shane Mullen. The recruit who best supported the regimental training plan received a certificate and Enlisted Memorial Foundation challenge coin given in memory of Lieutenant Commander Charlie Gow, a policy writer, author, and a 1979 graduate of Coast Guard basic training who dedicated his entire professional career to the enlisted workforce. The Company Yeoman Award winner for Romeo 193 is Senior Recruit Lindsay Trujillo. On behalf of the Coast Guard Enlisted Association, a certificate and challenge coin was presented to the recruit selected by the members of their company that was the most helpful during training. The Best Shipmate Award winner for Romeo 193 is Seam Recruit Aaron Clayton. A certificate and challenge coin was presented on behalf of the United States Marine Corps League to the recruit who has demonstrated the highest level of proficiency in executing the Manual of Arms. The Manual of Arms Award winner for Romeo 193 is Seam Recruit Nicholas Sweet. Given on behalf of the Fleet Reserve Association, a certificate is presented to the graduate who has the highest overall academic average. The academic award winner for Romeo 193 is Seam Recruit Jacob Halam. On behalf of the Cape May Chiefs Association, a certificate and challenge coin was presented to the recruit selected by the company commanders who demonstrated the greatest leadership influence during training. The Leadership Award winner for Romeo 193 is Seam Recruit Matthew Blanchard. A certificate and marlin spike knife was presented on behalf of the Coast Guard Auxiliary to the recruit who achieved the highest overall average during the seamanship phase of training. The Seamanship Award winner is also the honor graduate. On behalf of the Navy League, a plaque was presented to the recruit who has the highest final overall standing. This recruit has earned the title of honor graduate and is authorized to wear the Coast Guard honor graduate ribbon. The Seamanship Award winner and honor graduate for Romeo 193 is Seam Recruit Matthew French. Colorful streamers on the Romeo Company flag indicate outstanding achievement in the areas of seamanship, blood drive, academics, physical fitness, and overall company performance. It is now my pleasure to present to you Captain Gibbons, who will advance the graduates, offer his remarks, and introduce the guest speaker.
Thank you. Uniformed personnel, attention to advancement. Very well, Chief. Well done. Members of Romeo Company, your basic training is now complete. It is my pleasure to officially advance you from Seaman Recruit to Seaman, Seaman Apprentice, Fireman, or Fireman Apprentice. Congratulations on your first advancement in the United States Coast Guard. Thank you. Please be seated. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
That's better. Come on now. You didn't forget already. Y'all are going to get reverted, I'm telling you right now. Distinguished guests, parents, family, and friends of Romeo 193, welcome to Coast Guard Training Center, Cape May, the birthplace of the Enlisted Corps. We are very excited that you could join us here today, and we hope that you are impressed by what you see in front of you. So I've got to ask, how do they look? I agree. Believe me, folks, these graduates have been dreaming of nothing but this day for months. They are rightfully proud of what they have accomplished while they have been away from you, but they are eager to be back in your arms again. Before we get started, though, there's a couple folks I think we have in the crowd that I need to recognize. Each year for more than 30 years, Training Center Cape May has been blessed by local family members who give of their time and of their own living to come down and pick up recruits and take them home for a day and help them to have a day that feels like home while they are away from home here undergoing the rigors of training. So our Operation Fireside families often become long-term members of the extended Coast Guard family, and I'm wondering if we have any Operation Fireside families in the crowd with us today. If so, would you stand up, please? Thanks very much. Please be seated. Thanks so much. Well, folks, when the trainees of Romeo Company stepped off that bus not so long ago, we told them that we were going to insist they meet every single one of our standards before they got to this day, before they graduated. And honestly, 8 folks that stepped off that bus have already gone home, and another 32 have not yet met that standard, and they're not yet in front of you today. But the folks that are here, the folks that are in this room, the folks that are graduating here, have definitely met our standards. They have earned midterm and final exam pennants for high academic averages. They've earned a physical fitness pennant that denotes a collective achievement far beyond our minimum boat crew physical fitness standard. They earned a blood drive pennant for their contributions to sustain life-saving resources for the Red Cross. They earned a seamanship pennant for proficiency in our core organizational competency. And they earned near-perfect scores on both the Manual of Arms and Close Order Drill assessments, ultimately earning both Company Commander and Section Commander pennants and recognition. Most impressively, though, despite all the stormy weather created by their CCs, the days that made them question their decision to serve, and even their ability to persevere, not even one member of this company quit. And folks, I'm here to tell you that that is rare. How about joining me in a round of applause for Romeo Company? Graduates, today we celebrate your accomplishments as your colors fly from the regiment and also on your guidon. You have learned much about yourselves. You have learned much about what it means to work as a team. You have learned much about what it means to lead and to follow in our organization. Today we are proud to add all of you as new members of America's arsenal of first responders, those who are trained, tested, and confident enough to run toward the danger that others rightfully run away from. You have trained here in the shadow of our heroes, passing by the Spencer mast daily, a token of the cutter that sank 2 U-boats in World War II, evoking the honor won for us by the crew of that most decorated cutter in Coast Guard history. You have exercised in the shadow of the Monroe statue, a Medal of Honor winner who reminds us what can be accomplished by the selfless devotion of an individual leader. You've heard names that hold great meaning for your service, learning of the exploits of people like James, or Flores, or Bruckenthal. Here at Training Center Cape May, we are surrounded by images that remind us what this life of service represents, and we celebrate those who have gone before us and form the lineage that we strive to perpetuate. But as you depart, I want to remind you that not all of our glory lies in the distant past, nor is it limited to the names already immortalized in monuments. I remind you of this, Romeo Company, because starting today, you will harness that confidence and direction you created for yourselves right here to help us write the next chapter in our history, and we are counting on you to perpetuate our good name. Here at Training Center Cape May, our claim to fame is that countless other Coast Guard men and women, more than 130,000 in the past 30 years alone, have started off right here, just like you and me. They've gone on to be coxswains or rescue swimmers, engineering petty officers, shop chiefs leading at units all over our service, officers in charge of cutters and small boat stations, and gold badge master chiefs advising our flag officer corps and advocating for our enlisted workforce. They each stood in a formation just like yours when they too graduated from Cape May. In all of these cases, our company commanders trained all of us just like every other recruit through an experience that made us part of a family, one that has its roots right here. And they taught us what it meant to grow up in and to be from the Coast Guard's hometown. The truth is that we do not know for certain what opportunities each of you will rise to nor the demands that our nation will place on this next generation of Coast Guard men and women, but we do know exactly whom the nation will call upon in time of distress, and that is the men and women that we train here each and every day. And that knowledge inspires a sacred responsibility to ensure that that you are, in all ways, ready to answer that call. For that reason, I'm humbled to lead an amazing team of military, civilian, and auxiliary members in training the next generation of men and women to serve with the professionalism and character that makes the Coast Guard a distinctive service. I'm confident that Romeo 193 has the ability to meet the demands of that service because I trust the judgment of their lead company commander, Chief Bergioni, and her assistants, Petty Officer Allen and Petty Officer Botts, in the fantastic job that they have done to prepare these graduates. I'm confident in the professionalism of their lead instructor, Chief Wolf, their lead gym instructor, Ms. Heck, their lead seamanship instructor, Petty Officer Honeycutt, and their lead yeoman, Petty Officer Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in a round of applause for the entire staff here at Training Center Cape May. Thank you. Graduates, as we discussed just yesterday, there are two names on your uniform. The first is the name you arrived with. It's your family name, and it's a name you've already made proud just by getting to this day. The second is a name you earned right here as you were born into the Coast Guard, like generations of shipmates before you. The most important thing you have learned here at Training Center Cape May is what it means to have the character expected of a member of the Coast Guard family. Remember that character is a choice. It is usually formed by the small day-to-day decisions that become the foundation of how you operate. Let our core values be those principles that guide your decisions. Allow those decisions to drive your actions, and let those actions perpetuate the unique service character that the American public has come to rely on from its Coast Guard since 1790. As you go forth and forge your own careers of service to this great nation, remember to honor both family names and to make us proud. Cape May is your new hometown, and we welcome you to our family. Shipmates, it's been our pleasure and our honor to train you, and now to celebrate you as full-fledged members of our workforce. May God bless each of you and your families. May God continue to bless our Coast Guard. Semper Paratus. It's now my pleasure to introduce our company mentor and guest speaker for today's graduation ceremony, Captain Milestrip. He is a 1992 graduate of the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, where he earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Marine Science. He also holds a master's degree in International Public Policy from Johns Hopkins University, a master's in Business Administration from Regis University, and a master in Strategic Studies from the Marine Corps War College. He has numerous tours of duty at sea, serving as a Naval Exchange Officer, an Operations Officer, and an Executive Officer, in addition to 4 previous assignments as Commanding Officer of Coast Guard cutters, including the Point Huron, the Sassafras, the Sequoia, and the Confidence. His assignments ashore have included Regional Advisor for the Coast Guard's Office of International Affairs and the Coast Guard's Liaison in the Joint Chiefs of Staff Directorate for Operations. Captain Milestrip is currently assigned to the Coast Guard cutter Eagle in Baltimore, Maryland, where he serves as the commanding officer. Will you please join me in a warm Cape May welcome for Captain Matt Milestrip.
Thank you all very much. This is a great Coast Guard day. And before I get started, I want to recognize the drill team once again and the band. For those who don't know, those are all recruits. So they're here for a very short period of time, and everything you saw there was performed superbly. And the national anthem, outstanding job. So if you can join me in a round of applause for those folks. So I am Captain Matt Milestrup. I'm also here with Chief Johnson and Fireman Griffith from the Eagle, and the XO, Lieutenant Commander Brooks and BM3 Smith also joined us during this period when we visited your new Coast Guardsmen. We are very appreciative of Captain Gibbons and the staff for inviting us to this mentor program. We get as much out of it as they do, as perhaps your recruits get from us. So valuable for us to come back and see that, and we're very, very proud of our company. So thank you for having us. Also want to take a moment. 2 days ago, we recognized the 75th anniversary of a day of infamy, the bombing of Pearl Harbor. So I'd like to take an opportunity once again to ask the veterans in the crowd, our fellow members of DHS, civil servants, and local first responders to please rise so we can recognize them for the service they've given to our great country. And there's a number of you out there, I know there are. Thank you very much. And there's 93 new folks joining us today, but we'll get to them in just a second. I'd like to compliment all the parents, certainly siblings, grandparents, family, and friends, for all the work you did over a couple decades. You did a great job. These are great folks. We saw them in week 2, and well, it was interesting in week 2. They've come a long, long way, and a lot of that has to do with the values you instilled in them, and we've just refined a little bit over time. So thank you very much. You did a great job, and they're great men and women. Also want to recognize the 3 folks standing out front. Chief Brugioni, Ted Esser Allen, Ted Esser Botts invested tremendous amount of time and energy into these folks, and they are unsung heroes in the Coast Guard. All the company commanders. They do a great job and don't get as much recognition as they normally should. So if you can join me in a round of applause for those 3 in particular. They're not company Slomeo anymore. And whatever you're doing with that paint or train thing, keep it up because it's doing a great job. You're doing a great job. And most prominently, of course, the 93 folks standing in front of us. Huge compliment, huge recognition to all of you for sticking it out. We told you week 2, stick around. We're so very proud you did. Romeo 1903, awesome job. You've come a long way in just 8 weeks. Maybe a couple more for a couple of you, but it doesn't matter here today because you're now Coast Guardsmen, and there's a unit out there eager to get you. Very eager. I represent Eagle. And my shipmates represent Eagle, but we're also members representing the 80,000 Coast Guard men and women out there. That's active duty, that's reserves, civilians, and auxiliaries. And we're all very thrilled to indoctrinate you into that Coast Guard family today. Welcome. The Coast Guard family, what is that? We are oftentimes overlooked. Maybe some people don't even know we exist. And you all know that. So you are part of the Coast Guard family sitting in the bleachers now too. And certainly spread the word about this service. We regard it as the best one out there. And that's service pride, of course. We work with all our fellow services. We've done it for many years. Who are we? We're agile. We're empowered with great authorities. We have broad mission sets. We execute those every single day. Oftentimes in weather like today. This is great Coast Guard weather too, might I add. Nobody ever gets in trouble on a sunny day when it's 80 degrees and it's flat calm. Never. So your loved ones will be out there in some of this or worse in the future, and they'll be doing great things. We are the oldest continuous seagoing service in the country. We also, and this is important because people mess this up all over the country, it really gets Coast Guardsmen upset. So help us dispel this whenever you hear it. We are a military service. We've been that way since our inception. The battle streamers prove that, so spread that word whenever you hear that misnomer out there. We very much appreciate it. We also are the greatest men and women you'll ever work with, and I direct that right to Romeo 1903. You'll never have better friends than the folks standing with you or the people you serve with in the years to come, and you'll carry those friendships for a long, long time to come, all your life. So value that. I have 2 probabilities. I have probabilities for your class. I have certainties. Probabilities. There's Master Chiefs among you. There's warrant officers. There's folks that are going to attend OCS. There's maybe somebody out there is going to attend the academy, probably going to have someone that's going to make admiral perhaps in there, certainly 06s. Who knows? Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard might be in your ranks one day, or an admiral, maybe commandant. Certainties, and this will start as soon as next week. As soon as next week, you will make a major contribution to whatever community you're in, to whatever mariners you're dealing with, and it'll happen very quickly, and you won't expect it. So be semper paratus, be ready for that moment. It will come, right, for every single one of you out there. And that's what we're in it for. We're in it to serve the country and serve humanity. So no higher calling. I have 3 things that I'm going to get out of the way so we can proceed on with the ceremony today. And these are for my newest shipmates. Hopefully you can remember some things. You may not even remember my name, but try to remember one or two of these items, and it'll help you along the way. 1, your reputation starts today. So remember the lessons that you learned here in boot camp, that the chief and the petty officers have instilled in you. Don't forget those when you leave the gates. Be a great professional, so remember those lessons. Number 2, live our core values. Don't talk about them, live them. Honor, respect, devotion, and duty, crucial. And be the model, that professional sailor that everybody's looking for. And finally, be positive and have a little fun, because I'll tell you what, there's a lot to be had out there. You're going to do some challenging things, you're going to do some hard things, but you're going to have a whole lot of fun, and you're going to make a difference. So remember the lessons, live your core values, and be positive. Congratulations on this great achievement. This is your first. There'll be many more to come. Good luck to all of you. We wish you all the best from Eagle and the rest of the Coast Guard that I'm standing up here representing, and welcome to the best service in the country. Thank you.
We'll now recognize the graduates of Romeo 103. Chief Williams, the section commander for Romeo 193, will now read the names of the graduates and where they'll be assigned.
Seaman Eric Nunez, Coast Guard Cutter Donald Horsley, San Juan, Puerto Rico. He is being congratulated by his father, Tech Sergeant Giovanni Santiago, U.S. Air Force. Seaman Apprentice Elizabeth Martino, Coast Guard Cutter Sherman, Honolulu, Hawaii. Seaman Aaron Clayton, Station Erie, Pennsylvania. He is being congratulated by his grandfather, Petty Officer Bill Kesterkey, U.S. Navy veteran. Seaman Lindsay Trujillo, Coast Guard Cutter Ida Lewis, Newport, Rhode Island. She is being congratulated by her father, Captain Bayonne Stewart, U.S. Coast Guard. Seaman Apprentice Austin Thomas, Coast Guard Cutter Monroe, Kodiak, Alaska. He is being congratulated by his sister, Seaman Alexandria Thomas, U.S. Coast Guard. Seaman Apprentice Nicholas Sweet, Station Marathon, Florida. Seaman Apprentice Michael Bobrowski, Coast Guard Cutter Dauntless, Galveston, Texas. Seaman Justin Miskamon, Coast Guard Cutter Maria Bray, Atlantic Beach, Florida. He is being congratulated by his uncle, Petty Officer Justin LePron, U.S. Navy veteran. Seaman Christopher Bowman, Coast Guard Cutter Forward, Portsmouth, Virginia. He is being congratulated by his father, Corporal Chris Bowman, U.S. Marine Corps veteran. Fireman Aiden Warner, Coast Guard Aids and Navigation Team, Morgan City, Louisiana. He is being congratulated by his brother, Tech Sergeant Joshua Wilson, U.S. Air Force retired. Seaman Jacob Hallam, Coast Guard Cutter Spencer, Boston, Massachusetts. Seaman Matthew French, MKA School, Yorktown, Virginia. He is being congratulated by his father, Lieutenant Commander Martin French, U.S. Navy retired. Seaman Apprentice Shane Mullen, Coast Guard Cutter Mellon, Seattle, Washington. He is being congratulated by his father, Sergeant Robert Mullen, Cheektowaga Police Department, retired. Seaman Matthew Blanchard, Coast Guard Air Station, Clearwater, Florida. Seaman Apprentice Tyler Langdale, Station Chetco River, Brookings, Oregon. He is being congratulated by his grandfather, Sergeant Ronald Mock, Sr., U.S. Army retired. Seaman Apprentice Evan Lingenfelter, Coast Guard Cutter Key Largo, Gloucester, Massachusetts. Seaman Apprentice Isaac Cross, Training Center, Cape May, New Jersey. He is being congratulated by his mentor, Corporal Thomas Romanino, U.S. Army retired. Seaman Apprentice Dustin Turney, Coast Guard Cutter Stratton, Alameda, California. Seaman Shaquille Sims, FSA School, Petaluma, California. Seaman Apprentice Catherine Robinson, Station Ocracoke, Hatteras, North Carolina. Seaman Apprentice Jonathan Nolan, Station Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Seaman McCaw McCartan, Station Fort Myers Beach, Florida. He is being congratulated by his uncle, Chief Warrant Officer Richard Frizzle, U.S. Army. Fireman Gabriel Polino, Coast Guard Cutter Steadfast, Warrenton, Oregon. Seaman Apprentice Isaiah Schultz, Station Atlantic City, New Jersey. He is being congratulated by his mentor, Fireman Eric Johnson, U.S. Coast Guard veteran. Seaman Apprentice Nathan Diaz, Sector Mobile, Alabama. Seaman Apprentice Kyle Bellard, Coast Guard Cutter Walnut, Honolulu, Hawaii. Fireman Apprentice Dalton Brock, Coast Guard Cutter Osprey, Port Townsend, Washington. He is being congratulated by his mother, Specialist Mariah Rain, U.S. Army veteran. Seaman Apprentice Gilbert Marino, Station Sand Key, Clearwater, Florida. Seaman Apprentice Matthew Johnston, Coast Guard Cutter Joshua Appleby, St. Petersburg, Florida. Seaman Apprentice Elijah Weeks, FSA School, Petaluma, California. Seaman Reed Blabber, Station Wachapreek, Virginia. Fireman Apprentice Savarano Garris, Coast Guard Cutter Monroe, Kodiak, Alaska. Fireman Apprentice Daniel Gata, Coast Guard Cutter Spencer, Boston, Massachusetts. Seaman Brett Hurlbut, Coast Guard Cutter Washington, Santa Rita, Guam. Seaman Tyler Cuffey, Station Cape May, New Jersey. Seaman Johannes Uber, Coast Guard Cutter Vigorous, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Seaman Brian Penavera, Station San Juan, Puerto Rico. Fireman Apprentice Sebastian Bonilla, Coast Guard Cutter Vigilant, Port Canaveral, Florida. He is being congratulated by his father, Sergeant First Class William Bonilla, U.S. Army. Seaman Dimitrik Shabazz, Station San Francisco, California. He is being congratulated by his father, Senior Chief Raymond Shabazz, U.S. Navy, retired. Fireman Pamela Baez Gonzalez, Station Chatham, Massachusetts. She is being congratulated by her mentor, Petty Officer Manuel Rivera, U.S. Coast Guard veteran. Fireman Joseph Burke, Coast Guard Cutter Sea Dog, Kings Bay, Georgia. Seaman Apprentice Austin Marshall, Coast Guard Cutter Mellon, Seattle, Washington. Seaman Brandon Usuri, Coast Guard Cutter Bluefin, Fort Pierce, Florida. He is being congratulated by his father, Petty Officer William Stewart, U.S. Coast Guard veteran. Fireman Damian Suttles, Sector Corpus Christi, Texas. Seaman Apprentice Cameron Dotterer, Station Jones Beach, Long Island, New York. Seaman Apprentice Eric Jackson, Coast Guard Cutter Active, Port Angeles, Washington. He is being congratulated by his father, Chief of Police Robert Jackson, Seaside Police Department. Seaman Apprentice Albert Thompson, Coast Guard Cutter Escanaba, Boston, Massachusetts. Seaman Apprentice Benjamin Brum, Coast Guard Cutter Active, Port Angeles, Washington. Fireman Apprentice Colin Nielsen, Coast Guard Cutter Reliance, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Fireman Jarrett Stuckey, Coast Guard Cutter Monroe, Kodiak, Alaska. Seaman Joshua Carwell, Sector Field Office, Eastern Shore, Chincoteague, Virginia. He is being congratulated by his father, Petty Officer Jeffrey Carwell, U.S. Navy retired. Seaman Samuel Ragsdale, Station Fort Macon, Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. Seaman Kyle Price, Coast Guard Cutter Skipjack, Galveston, Texas. Seaman Apprentice Caleb Haberlin, ETA School, Petaluma, California. Seaman Apprentice Harper Etheridge, Coast Guard Cutter Venturous, St. Petersburg, Florida. Seaman Apprentice Quillen Smith, Coast Guard Cutter Bristol Bay, Detroit, Michigan. Seaman Precious Scott, Coast Guard Cutter Kukui, Honolulu, Hawaii. Seaman Christopher Walters, Coast Guard Cutter Confidence, Cape Canaveral, Florida. Seaman Heaven Jimenez, Coast Guard Cutter Alex Haley, Kodiak, Alaska. Seaman Tabitha Weiss, Station Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Seaman Heather Slanika, MSU, Chicago, Illinois. Seaman Nathan Hilt, Aids to Navigation Team, Crisfield, Maryland. Fireman Justin Gardner, Coast Guard Cutter Isaac Mayo, Key West, Florida. He is being congratulated by his father, Colonel Kelvin Gardner, U.S. Air Force. Fireman Apprentice Walter Palmerino, Station Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. He is being congratulated by his grandfather, Staff Sergeant First Class Francisco Baez, U.S. Army retired. Seaman Apprentice Michael DiDomenico, Station Annapolis, Maryland. Seaman Apprentice Joan Gonzalez, Aids to Navigation Team, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Seaman Apprentice Joseph Evans, Coast Guard Cutter Harriet Lane, Portsmouth, Virginia. He is being congratulated by his father, Petty Officer Dale Willoughby, U.S. Navy veteran. Seaman Salvador Aggiano, Coast Guard Cutter Walnut, Honolulu, Hawaii. Fireman Gabriel Lacombe, Coast Guard Cutter Sequoia, Santa Rita, Guam. Seaman Jason Williams, Coast Guard Cutter Chippewa, Buchanan, Tennessee. Seaman Apprentice Brandon Howe, EMA School, Yorktown, Virginia. He is being congratulated by his brother, Petty Officer Zach Howe, U.S. Coast Guard. Fireman Apprentice Benjamin Prestige, Coast Guard Cutter Tampa, Portsmouth, Virginia. Seaman Apprentice Eric Russell, Coast Guard Cutter Tahoma, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. He is being congratulated by his father, Petty Officer James Russell, U.S. Navy veteran. Seaman Melissa McKay, Coast Guard Cutter Tampa, Portsmouth, Virginia. She is being congratulated by her fiance, Petty Officer Ian Carricker, U.S. Navy. Fireman Isaac Coleman, Trayson Firehouse, Cape May, New Jersey. Seaman Jillian Dameyer, Coast Guard Cutter Alder, Duluth, Minnesota. She is being congratulated by her uncle, Lieutenant Timothy Martin, U.S. Coast Guard retired. Seaman Apprentice Anthony San Lorenzo, Coast Guard Yard, Baltimore, Maryland. Seaman Apprentice Jorge Barcias Rodriguez, Station LA Long Beach, San Pedro, California. Seaman Drew Foraker, Station Valdez, Alaska. Fireman Apprentice Dylan Such, Coast Guard Cutter Yellowfin, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Seaman Apprentice Tyler Vanette, Station Isla Morta, Florida. Seaman Austin Allen, Station LA Long Beach, San Pedro, California. Seaman Matthew Merriman, Operations Specialist Day School, Petaluma, California. He is being congratulated by his father, First Sergeant John Merriman, U.S. Marine Corps retired. Seaman Apprentice Hannah Chawaniak, Coast Guard Cutter Stratton, Alameda, California. She is being congratulated by her aunt, Private Barbara Levy Rosser, U.S. Army veteran. Seaman Apprentice Rylan Marshall, Coast Guard Cutter Diligence, Wilmington, North Carolina. He is being congratulated by his father, Gunnery Sergeant Keith Marshall, U.S. Marine Corps retired, and his stepfather, Master Sergeant Greg Harlan, U.S. Marine Corps retired. Seaman Ashley Dodd, Coast Guard Cutter Tahoma, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. She is being congratulated by her grandmother, Sergeant First Class Mary Villarreal, U.S. Army retired. Seaman Jason Noonan, Station Oxford, Maryland. Fireman Russell Tyler, Coast Guard Cutter Biscayne Bay, St. Ignace, Michigan. He is being congratulated by his father, Petty Officer John Tyler, U.S. Navy, retired. Seaman Apprentice Colin Holsinger, Coast Guard Cutter Tahoma, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Seaman Carson Craniac, Station Portsmouth, Virginia. Seaman Ryan Curran, Station Quayoute River, La Push, Washington. Seaman Daniel White, ETA School, Petaluma, California. He is being congratulated by his father, Colonel Samuel White, U.S. Army retired. Seaman Alex Bobby Archick, Coast Guard Cutter Joshua Appleby, St. Petersburg, Florida.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are the graduates of Romeo 103. Coast Guard service song, Semper Paratus, which means always ready. We invite all guests to remain standing and sing along with the graduates of Romeo 103. Graduates, this is your final muster as Romeo 103. When you are dismissed, your company will be disbanded forever. You become working members of the Coast Guard family assigned around the world. You've been trained and challenged by the best the service has to offer. Your training has taught you that the Coast Guard's three core values, honor, respect, and devotion to duty, should guide your performance, conduct, and decisions every minute of every day. We wish you great success and hope your lives and careers are blessed with fair winds and following seas. Post the company guide on. Chief Bergioni, disband the graduating company.